house is a
And
replacement
I
cost.
hate to interrupt you,
You're
but
gonna
I need
pay for
to
the
do a
roof.
2-second conversation.
Now, is that a
I didn't wanna
temporary
miss
move
you.
or is that full time while you're?
You can ignore me
Can I
anytime you want to,
start, or
Vern.
does Pat,
In,
you start it?
in
Okay.
insurance in Illinois.
Oh,
It's
gotcha.
Illinois.
Oh, so it's not just our community.
Yeah, so I would look at your policy.
That's why we kept the place we were. We had to shop it out.
We got quiet all of a sudden.
Replacement cost.
Amazon.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun.
Uh-huh.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. Village President Kimsey's not here, so there needs to be a motion for Trustee Charo to act as president. Is there a motion?
Make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Is there got to be a roll call?
Yes.
Trustee Nice.
I'm present.
Trustee Try.
Yes.
Trustee Ferguson.
Yes, President?
Trustee Gerger.
Yes, President.
Trustee Fletcher.
Here, yes, President.
Trustee Charo.
Yes.
It's all yours.
President.
Oh, boy. All right. It is 6 p.m. exactly. It is time to call the regular village meeting to order. Let's stand for a moment of silence. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you take the roll, clerk?
Trustee Nice.
Present.
Trustee Try.
Here.
Trustee Ferguson.
Here.
Trustee Charo.
Present.
Trustee Gerger.
Present.
Trustee Fletcher.
He's here.
Village President Kimsey. Absent.
All right, public announcements.
Also known as the less moment.
It's a good way to describe it.
Les Morgan with the Chatham American Legion and VFW. We had a successful 9th anniversary reading of the Declaration of Independence, despite the chaos that was happening. So, and I'd like to thank Dustin and his crew and the Glenwood football team for getting that side of the Memorial Park cleaned up so that we could have, there was well over 100 people. I counted up to 125 people that attended, so good job, everybody. Unfortunately, the VFW is going to be closed indefinitely because it took off the 3 rooftop air conditionings and pulled up some of the new roof that we had installed. So at this time, we don't know when we're going to open back up. But once all the repairs are made, we'll be making the announcement. So,
ETA a couple of months? Or
I'm sorry?
ETA a couple of months
We're
or?
hoping it'd be sooner than that.
Okay, I just didn't know, because I know everybody's backlogged, so now if as soon as like 2 months in everybody's mind.
Yes, we're anticipating at least 2 months
Okay.
because of the backlog of all the roofs that are being repaired. I talked with one of the repairmen, and he said they've got 100 roofs that
Oh, yeah.
they're doing, and that's just one guy.
They were already behind on the hailstorm,
Oh, yeah.
and this just
So
redid it.
we'll see what happens.
Yes. Thanks, Les. Any further public comments? All right, I have a public comment. I wanted to recognize the village workers for their incredible performance during the storm, following the storm. I know some things are still occurring, but that was record speed. I think that the community working together, but it all starts from the top, and a plan that is followed and carried out throughout is what made this run relatively smoothly. And so, thank you, and just congratulations on this amazing team.
Yeah, that was huge, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Many hours went into that, and you hate to see something like that happen to Chatham, but the way the community responded was just absolutely amazing. And when we all got that text, was it Sunday or Monday when we got it, that all power had been restored? I don't think anyone anticipated it that quickly. So, yeah, hats off.
To piggyback that, I believe the emergency process that you guys have instilled is probably one of the guides of what caused such a great response. From talking to certain quality friends who were involved, it was very impressive how well you guys did. So hats off to all of you, and thank you for doing what you've done for our community. It's greatly appreciated.
I'm going to piggyback one more thing on that one. There's a lot of unseen faces in the background that help do this and that help support the village as a whole on that one. So everyone was involved in this. So let's not forget the ones who were in the backgrounds and the traveling ones who gave up time with their family to come down and help us get it. So we appreciate the chiefs in front, but we also want everybody to know there's a lot of many hands that went out there to make this possible.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. And thank you again to our incredible village. Any public comments on agenda topics? Hearing none. Okay, we have no old business. All we have tonight is the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to bring the consent agenda to the table?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Fletcher's made a motion. Trustee
second.
Cooper has seconded the motion. Any discussion on the warrants or the minutes?
None of the items that were storm related are in the warrants tonight.
Correct.
We're going to put all those together as a separate group,
We got
but we've got to go over all of
I
that.
don't want to look at that number.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to either, but we did get fairly good news today that the governor declared Sangamon County a disaster area, so that should help us in funding the repairs, so.
what took him so long to declare it? Do we know?
Well,
I mean, I'm just-
if
I
you
don't-
look
not
at the
from- I'm not used to
declaration, I think there was requests that came from all over the state as far as flooding in some counties, and there was a big storm up in Cook County and all the way from the north to the south, so they put it all together in one declaration, so.
Just not from, I think luckily this was the first time that we've all been through this. So it's nice to learn the process, unfortunately, but there's several processes that we might not be aware of.
There is, and the good thing that we did years ago was hiring Trent Thompson to be our SEMA director. SEMA, he has the experience when he worked for the military and then when he came back to the United States and worked for IEMA. So one of the things I asked him to do at the very beginning was to not only write a document of what we need to do, but we needed to train on it. And we've had, 3 or 4 different training sessions over the last 2 years with all of our staff, from the girls in the office to the guys that do the stuff out in the field, so that we could go through different scenarios for storms, for train derailments, for hazardous chemical spills. And we've been through that training and have an understanding. We all know how to work together. And that's, I mean, when that thing hit at 12:30, they were putting the tables up and putting the room together so that we'd be able to start reacting to it.
That
So
fast, that's amazing.
It's good.
Yeah,
Trent is really good.
we need to vote on that.
Clarify, I think the motion is to approve the consent agenda, correct? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Clerk,
All right. Trustee Nice.
Right.
Yes.
Trustee Try.
Yes.
Trustee Ferguson.
Yes.
Trustee Charo.
yes.
Trustee Gerger.
Yes.
Trustee Fletcher.
Yes.
All right, any public comments on village business?
No, thank you.
Hearing none. The next scheduled meeting is July 25th for the regular board. We have no reason to enter a closed session, so I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Trice has made a motion. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Or-
Trustee Nice.
Nice. I don't know why I do that.
Try nice and
Nice try.
Try nice.
I
Nice
guess
try. Whatever you want to say.
nice.
Kristen, that's Tim Nice and.
Clerk Holden, how's that being
Nice try.
recorded?
Turn things over.
Is that nice try or try nice?
You have
Can
that,
please
Clerk?
clarify?
Nice try. I did.
Okay.
Right.
And then, can I have a voice? Can we do a voice vote?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. It's funny. Sorry.
Adjourned at 6:09.
One of these days. All right, we are adjourned.
Dun, 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 dun.
Time to move on to the next meeting.
Late. They're late.
At least we're not sitting here for 6 more minutes.
Late.
All right.
Yeah, we're not sitting here for 6 more minutes. Go ahead.
Are we ready, clerk, for the roll?
I am.
Okay.
Roll call.
Yep.
Trustee Nice.
Present.
Trustee Try. Here. See less. Trustee Ferguson.
Present.
Trustee Charo.
Present.
Trustee Gerger.
Present.
Trustee Fletcher.
Any public comments on agenda topics? Hearing none. I need a motion to bring the consent agenda to the table,
I make the motion.
Motion to approve. the
to approve the consent agenda.
I make the motion.
Trustee Ferguson has made a motion. Can I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by trustee Nice.
Ferguson, nice.
Pretty nice.
There we go.
Nice
Uh,
reading.
And roll.
Trustee Nice.
Yes.
Trustee Try. Yes. Trustee Ferguson.
Yes.
Trustee Charo.
Yes.
Trustee Gerger.
Yes.
Trustee Fletcher.
Yes.
There is no old business. Moving on to new business. We don't have a CMT engineering update?
The only outstanding thing that we have with our engineer is getting the state to finally approve the overlaying of Plummer Boulevard. We have put that request in. Jim, I think, checks in with them weekly because we want to be able to get that bid and get done this late summer, early fall. We have not heard back from him yet. So he said he would press them again tomorrow. Okay?
Next is the village manager update. I'm sure you have nothing to say.
I have a few things to talk about this evening. The first one is every year we get a notice from the Sangamon County Regional Planning Commission, which Chatham is a part of. And we pay a small fee to them to be able to be in that system and have the chance to get projects out of it. The fee this year is $8,816.31. And I will have an ordinance next week asking the okay to sign this, okay? And then here is a copy of their plan. If you guys want to look through that, you can pass it around. I can get more copies, or I can email that to you if you'd like to see what the overall plan for Sangamon County is and projects and stuff. They're interesting if you're looking to see where they're planning to do major projects in Springfield and throughout the rest of the county.
I'd love
What
a
are
copy
they
of
doing
that.
the Woodside?
That one is scheduled to be let this year and start
'Cause
this
that's
fall.
going to drastically change how that tracks area looks, isn't it?
It is. I can kind of describe it because
Is it going to be like an overpass? Or?
there's going to be an overpass and an underpass there. So where the train tracks don't move, they stay there. There'll be an underpass underneath of them,
Oh, wow.
okay? And then there'll be, as you're coming down Gordon Drive, it will have it set up that you can either go off to the left and go up over the railroad tracks and Woodside Road, and that will go on in and connect into MacArthur. Or you can go off to the right, and that'll take you around the curve towards Toronto Road. Or there'll be an intersection where you can go up to and turn and go left on Woodside Road. So all those are there, but they will have an underpass and an overpass that goes over the whole thing. So if you're coming from MacArthur, you can come down, you go over, and then go straight, and it will line up exactly straight with the bridge that's out there.
Wow.
So that's how much further that thing is going to move to the west
Oh, wow.
to be able to line up with it. And then the road that goes from there into MacArthur will run parallel to the railroad tracks. And then right down there about by Knights and then where Shields is, will come and connect all together. That part, I think, has been funded, but that's not going to happen this year. The stuff at Woodside is a county project. And that's supposed to happen. The first thing that they'll do is they'll build a thing, I think it's called a shoe fly, and that allows the train to go around the part that's there now. So they'll build temporary tracks on one side. The train will come down and go off on those temporary tracks, And that gives them room to be able to excavate underneath there and create the underpass.
They need dirt?
Huh?
They need dirt?
I did ask them if they needed dirt, and
Or wood
at first-
now?
What
at
about
first they
wood?
said yes, but then they realized that if you have all of this above structures and below structures, you have to do something with the water that runs off. So they need to dig a borrow pit so that the drainage and stuff goes to it. And when they dig the borrow pit, they're using the dirt to make the overpass.
Yeah,
So
like Meredith said, we got plenty of wood too.
Yeah, we have wood too.
Everything needs
Train
some wood
tracks? Train tracks, wood.
no, those are all concrete
Those are all
now.
concrete.
They're all concrete
Yeah.
now? Oh, wow.
So that's that project.
Well, before we move on.
Okay.
Do you know, will we be able to travel as a community down? I'm guessing I get to close that off, won't they?
There will be at times when that's probably to the point where they will have to close it. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Let's get copies of that.
Curious.
I'm gonna have to email it to me. I'd like to
Yeah.
see it.
They'll notify us. We'll be able to pass that on to the public, but
Hey, Pat,
Any project, though?
could you
Yes.
scan a copy of that and send it out to us? Email?
I'd love to have that email to me. I'd love to see it.
I've got it electronically. I'll send it
Okay.
to all of you.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
I think we're all interested in that.
The other thing is,
Uh-oh.
we contacted an engineering firm for possible services
Oh,
based on Shane leaving in December.
yes.
Currently, Shane designs our engineering for new electric lines and subdivisions. We don't have that capability on staff after he leaves. So we got references. This BHMG came highly recommended from IMEA and other municipalities that use them. We met with them and we talked to them, and they put together a proposal to do an electric system study because they really need to know what they're going to take over and try to help manage. So this is the proposal for it. I told them that we have a lot of this stuff in GIS. We will turn that over to them. They will turn around and finish out that, because right now I have pretty much 100% of the underground utilities in for the electric, but I would say I'm 50% at best for the overhead electric. So as they do that system study, I would expect that they would collect the rest of that data and finish those maps out for us. This is what the proposal was to do that study. $86,000 in a scope of what work and what they'd be putting together for us. So if you guys are interested in doing that, it will take to, February of 2024, if they started right away, to complete this.
Okay, so what are they putting together for the 86.5?
They're putting together,
A plan?
a detailed work description of all the stuff. They're gonna go through the town, know exactly what our system does, and then turn around and give all that data back to us and be able to, in the future, if a new subdivision wanted to come in,
You'd pay this consultant to come in, they'd have the background data already, and then this consultant would come in and go, this is what you need to do to provide electricity to this subdivision. And then our electricians would perform the labor, or would they?
I think we have the option. In the past, we've always installed it. I would assume since we're gonna have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 linemen, we could do that install work, or we could require new developers to come in to install all of that, and then we check all of how it connects back into our system.
Got it.
So things are definitely will change when Shane leaves in December. I did mention to these people that Shane is retiring in December and that they may want to have somebody back here that knows the system inside and out. But I can't, other than making that aware to them, that's about all I can do.
So the 86.5 is just prep work for when Shane leaves.
It will put together a detail of what our system is. So say, for
They
instance,
can support it. So,
Yeah,
so
that
they,
they
can,
can support.
recommend.
And
We don't
someone
know.
else could
Right.
support it.
Exactly,
Essentially, they're gonna
exactly.
take all the stuff that Shane just kind of knows,
And put on
and they're
paper.
gonna
Put it on
document
paper.
Put it on paper.
it so that any,
Right.
company like this, or probably someone with a lot of electrical experience could look at this,
Correct.
AKA diagram of
Yeah.
our electrical system essentially is what this is, and then work with it.
a good example is
Recreating Shane.
we'd get lightning strikes
right,
all the
right.
time out on
Shane.
Plummer and Route 4 that would knock out Oak Brook, the Willows, Spartan Valley, Iron Bridge Estates, and they would be off until that got repaired. Since then, Shane has put together where we can backfeed that. So now when that happens, the feed comes from another direction, keeps all those areas up.
It's got redundancy, yeah.
If these guys go through and they'll look, they could turn around and do the same thing. And they'll most likely put in, especially after the last storm, where are the areas that we need to address next of taking those utilities and putting those underground?
Is that in here? I mean, are they making recommendations as part of that? This.
Oh, I think once they get, well, they'll get in there and they'll study the whole system and put it all together. I think if we hire them, that will be the thing that, it's just like hiring CM&T. When we need them, we call them. When we don't need Jim, they don't,
Right.
we don't pay them a retainer. Okay.
Yeah, again, I just bring up, I'd be careful with, it'd be great for them to document, right? Shane's got to put probably a ton of it already documented. So they're gonna document it, take that, also add anything else from a documentation standpoint and say, this is the footprint, right? There could be something in here that would say, and by the way, we're providing a service to say, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. It would be cool for them to do that because that's the creative side of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it has to be done. It'd be cool if it was in here.
Right.
But again, just,
We'll look through it again, and when we go over, when we get ready, close to making a signed agreement, we'll make sure that we know exactly
What
what.
you're getting.
Yeah.
and by the way,
You're not-
yeah, I'm sorry, Pat, and then, because in that, when you see that proposal, that
Yeah.
description of the electric study, you should probably see bullet points underneath the electric study that might actually say recommendation, full documentation, existing footprint, et cetera, as, I mean, that's a very easy statement to say $86,000 for a study.
Does this also, I mean, I don't think this is off topic, but we're also working on the substation, right?
The substation is fine right now. Neither were damaged in the storm.
I'm talking about as far as, there were some conversations about having to do some stuff with the substation as far as,
Resell the power.
yeah,
That whole.
going back
And work
in.
certified.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
That is still in the process. It's
Okay.
working forward. We've had numerous online meetings, and CWLP's been involved in all those and turning all the information over to our consultants out in Vermont that are taking care of that for us. They're very, very close to turning in the application to get us certified. Then that will be FERC certified.
just go together or separate?
I think in the end, I think they will be together because they make sure that you're certified and everything is working properly. But if something happens back here and I need somebody to go in the substation and look at it, these people are a lot closer than coming from the East Coast. Right now, they're both consultants doing different parts for us. In the end, can they both do the same thing? I think if the guys out east were in Illinois and they could come and take a look at that substation or look at our system, whenever, I think that would be a different story. I don't think BHMG has the staff to turn around and get us certified.
Okay. Thank you.
And then, we, at one time, we talked about someone wanting to purchase a couple pieces from us. We have heard back from that person, but we have not looked at the details of what. And we were going to send that to a few consultants to ask them what they thought of that proposal. And we have not done that. And I need to get that to Lisa. That came in like 2 days after the storm hit. So,
No, that's great. I know we have we have one big thing with Shane leaving. And then we had this start going on too, so I didn't know how this would impact both of them.
they work hand in hand, but they're both separate.
Thank you. But they're capable of doing both jobs.
Both of the companies that we currently, one that we have already hired and one that we potentially may hire, are capable of doing those jobs.
Thank you.
So I will prepare, if you guys want me to, an ordinance for this for the next meeting, or if you want to discuss it more, you want me to look into more detail, if I can do that and then aim for one a month from today.
I'd want more detail.
Okay.
Again, I think that actually the price isn't the question. It's what do we get?
Yeah.
They've got to have somebody
And
comparable
maybe-
to us that they've done another study for, that they could say, hey, this is what we've done.
And I could probably get their engineer to come up for the meeting and be able to answer questions and stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot there. The thing is, there's a lot they could do. The question is that part of $86,000?
All right. The next item is the bids are out for the tree branch removal and the leaf bag pickup. This coming Friday is a pre-bid meeting. It's not mandatory that people come to those, but we've even made it simpler this year. It's a 3-year contract. The dumps will be closed. The only thing you have to pick up is the branches that are in somebody's front yard, and the size limitation is 6 feet long and 8 inches in diameter. If it's out there, no matter who put it out there, whether it's a private company, whether it's a resident, you gotta pick it up.
I like the simplification.
Pat doesn't. He wants to really help.
No, I do not. But I want the dump closed.
7.5 foot.
What did you say?
I like this fact, just simplified. Don't make fun of me.
Last year was a little,
I didn't know, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
she said simplification.
I did say that too, but
Yes.
came out with simplified.
Uh,
Trying to broaden my vocabulary.
Any questions?
No. I just know that there's an outfit that's really been busting butt for the last 2 weeks for us.
I have got a ton of phone calls on our current contractor saying how fantastic a job they're doing, and they're like, I couldn't believe they came and picked up everything and then they raked my front yard. And I'm like, that's good to know. I said, but a lot of it comes down to dollars too.
Absolutely.
So,
There's laws involved in that.
huh?
There's a law involved in that too. You can't. I mean,
Well, no, the way our bids are written,
Yes, that's true.
you can reject and accept a higher bid but I'm glad that's your guys' decision.
You better have a lot of reason to do that.
Well,
This,
Do we have any, we've got 3 small piles of wood around Chatham right now. Do we have any?
Sledding hills.
I've contracted with the toothpick company and
Okay,
they're gonna
great.
come and get it all.
Yes. Either that or mulch. Come on. No, I didn't know. I applaud the village for
Justin's
bringing.
going to talk about that in this minute.
Okay, are you going to talk about that in a minute?
He's going to talk. You're talking about
He's
mulch.
gonna talk about
He's gonna
how
talk
all the
about the downed
collection
trees
went.
and the
I
pipes
can
and-
tell you.
Okay, well,
that
that's fine.
We've reached out to the county.
part of the parks.
And the county is efforting to get what they call a fire curtain and set it up on their property someplace.
Oh.
That you start the thing and then you just keep pushing this wood into it and it burns it so hot and so fast, no smoke, it just goes up.
Okay.
So we've had offers from the state to give us trucks. We've been holding off on that till we
We're still
want to
getting
get ready to go and start hauling stuff. The county they haven't picked the location yet because it's a sensitive thing too. You're too close to a highway if there is any smoke or anything like that, or if you're near a residential neighborhood or anything. So they're looking for a centralized location that will work for this. And then they will allow, I think, the whole county to bring debris there.
Well, I applaud. I thought that the 3 spots were very well put out and very well planned, and we're so glad that they had that, but those piles are getting,
And the longer this goes and the more the leaves dry up,
yeah,
the more dangerous they are.
yeah.
So, fire department's aware of that, and, if we have to come and spray them down every once in a while,
Yeah, it's well worth it though.
yeah.
Small piles.
The last thing was just a few numbers from the past week and a half. We had crews doing power restoration here from Riverton, Naperville, Waterloo, Sullivan, our own crew from Chatham. 2 crews from Splund. That's the orange truck, or the white trucks and orange trucks that have the name. 1 was from Connecticut. They sent 19 guys from Connecticut, and the other one was 14 guys from someplace in the Midwest here. They replaced a total of 184 poles.
Oh, wow.
How many poles do we have?
We have 185.
No. Okay, that was asked. Well, I just, you keep hearing these numbers.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to anybody, but you keep hearing Springfield talk about how many numbers of poles they're replacing. I would think we would have a higher percentage of poles than they did. So I was just curious on percentage-wise if we had more poles replaced.
It's not a contest.
No, but I'm also talking about how hard the guys worked to get it done.
Agreed.
We probably
That small crew was able to replace that many poles that fast.
we got more than 1,000 and probably less than 2,000.
That narrows it down. Thank you, Pat, very much.
I could give you that number next week.
I just thought it'd be kind of interesting to know on comparison of polls. I'm a numbers
The
girl.
problem is with these 184 poles, they were in the worst places
Yeah.
possible to change them out because they were completely surrounded by trees and fences
Exactly.
and backyards, and swimming pools and everything else. And that's what, if they were all the street lights, we would have been done in
Yeah, I was
quite a
just
bit
curious.
faster, and even the ones that are at the closest of intersections and stuff over in the old part of town, it was a mess because not only are our electric lines hanging on there, but the phone,
Yeah.
Frontier's phone lines, the cable company's lines are hanging on there. And anybody else that's running fiber that didn't want to go underground and they hung it on a pole.
Right.
So we go out there, we put up a new pole and we move our stuff. And now you have to wait for those companies to come out and take their stuff off the poles and move them over to the other one. So there's still going to be areas that you're like, why'd they leave that old pole there? And what's that stuff that's hooked onto it? That's exactly it. And it will be a major task for Frontier and Comcast to send crews into here and move that stuff over. But
Does that mean that there's folks without phone lines and cable right now?
there very may well be. Yeah.
You can quote me on that.
Thank you.
26 transformers we replaced,
How many transformers?
which I would think,
That's not bad.
that's not bad. We had 29 that came down and we reattached them and put them back up. They weren't damaged.
Meredith would like to know how many transformers we have.
Yeah.
Compared to Springfield.
One for every pole.
One for every pool.
Nice.
Y'all are so mean. I feel the abuse tonight.
Here's a good number. The service that runs from the pole to your house, we had to reconnect 2,672 of those.
Wow.
Out of how many?
Of about 6,000.
That you can have pretty accurate.
Well, there's 6,000 utility customers. Now, you got to figure that probably half of those are underground services. So
So all the ones that were not underground, probably.
pretty much fell down.
Yours is underground.
And this is the mind-boggling one. They hit approximately 137,490 feet of primary and secondary line were either replaced or reattached.
Ooh.
So if
How
you're
many miles is
looking,
that?
if you're looking at how much it would take to be able to put all of that underground,
And now on your calculator.
that's a lot of feet.
Yes.
So that's enough for today.
How many miles?
Hold on.
I know, Fletcher's getting it for me.
Let's see.
26 miles. So you basically a marathon.
Just short of a marathon, it was 25.9, so.
Not 26.2.
26.2.
Using Griffin math, I think that's about 100 miles.
Hey, there you go. Wow.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Okay.
But I mean, you think about that. 26 miles is,
It's a lot.
that's a lot of miles.
It's a lot of miles.
Dustin, you want to jump in and talk
I wouldn't even do it.
Miles.
parks and recreation?
How many parks do we have,
The
Justin?
new guy.
8, 9.
How many parks do we have?
You need over that next spot count there.
Technically, 1, 2, 3, Cap Cover Bridge, 4.
We have that little park. We have a little.
We have one that isn't.
Dog park.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer the
Dog park.
question.
Yeah.
You got the easiest question.
You can ignore
Yard.
any other
Jesus.
comment.
Not really a presentation.
Part of the village.
Hey.
so-
You need to.
First of all, we had
You need
the
to know.
Parks and, or Public Property and Recreation Committee meeting last
Oh.
night. Trustee Tribe was there. Most of the discussion amazingly was about storms. So,
Really?
that's it. So, our park right now is, for the last 10 days, 11 days, have been working on the right-of-ways, clearing those. Now we're transitioning into our parks, the bike trail, getting those cleaned up, getting ready for Sweetwater, which is coming up in weeks.
That's really
The one thing I wanted to say though, I did want to say, I know everybody's saying thank you to these guys, but to truly see what they went through and how hard they worked, every department, I mean, the managers, the utility office, the police, fire department was in here, Trent, I mean, it was really amazing. So, and I know you guys all know that, but to see everybody working together was just great. So not only did we do something great, but it was like the first time that we all had to work together. You had, everybody on the same common goal. So to see, park guys and water guys digging holes for electricians to put poles in, and guys getting rock, and they had me on a chainsaw at one point. So just everybody. It was really, really neat. Some other things I wanted to thank some special communities that came out to help us. The Village of Verdon, Sangamon County, the Village of Riverton, the Village of Greenville, Auburn Township, Ball Township, Chatham Township, Kern Gardner Water District. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but it was so many people in town here helping us, and it was really amazing. So just want to say thank you to all of them, and that's my update.
Thanks, Dustin, for everything.
Dustin, I got a question for you.
Oh,
As I drove through your beautiful parks, I would guess, I couldn't tell you how many trees there are before she asks. However, a good percentage of them are smoked. How long is that going to take you guys to clean up?
A long time. The cemeteries are working.
I saw
Yeah.
that. It's bad.
We'll start working on those. We cleared all the brush out of Community Park the last 2 days.
Nice.
Streets and parks were in there working.
I can't believe the tennis court
I know.
fences stayed standing.
Correct.
That would be,
I mean, it's.
that would be the pickleball gods right there. Yeah, that's what it is.
Go.
I have a parks question about
Big
that.
tournament.
So with the
You win?
pickleball, those guys, they don't own the courts, right? It's kind of like football and that. So my son and them were playing, and this lady tried kicking them off the court because they had ladder league that began at 5:30.
Yeah, there's a sign on there though.
But it began at 5:30. This was 4:30, and they were on her favorite court, and she needed to warm up.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
They can't. They just sign up like football does and soccer does, right? Okay.
Did they leave?
No, my son's like, no, we're playing until 5:30.
Did he give him your number too?
No, I'm like, don't bring me into this. It's you.
The lady's watching right
I
now.
just want
She's
to make
gonna
sure
be
it
on your
acted
phone.
like, because I know they
Yeah,
provided
probably.
funding and stuff, but so does football, so does baseball. And right.
Can I add something? Because the response, though, and I was amazed when I drove in from Springfield at 3:30, 4 o'clock, I could get down Park. I mean, it looks like somebody took a snowplow. I'd explained something at work today, who flew in for work, how it looked like somebody snowplowed Park. That was
Yeah.
it. I didn't see it, but again, it looked like it, so that way we get through. So not only were you guys working because of the effort you guys actually put in, the entire community was able to then get in their cars
Yeah.
and go and walk down and take shovels and take axes and chainsaws.
Yeah, you
You guys
guys,
led by example.
All
I mean,
of you were
it was,
amazing.
Yeah.
You
the
know
community was following you guys.
Yes.
And what we've done here. So that was huge. And everybody in our neighborhood was talking about everybody else chipping in because they're trying to do stuff that you guys didn't have to do.
But
So,
they didn't have time to do.
well, again, they would have eventually
Yeah.
probably had to, but we like,
Yeah.
you know what? We'll take some while you guys deal with the most. So
I had no idea there was that many chainsaws in this town.
Oh, I know.
you couldn't, Lowe's was sold out. Lowe's was sold out.
In the southwest corner area and stuff.
No, it was all.
That night, I went over there with the fire department, and we were riding around on their gator, and everybody was in their front yard cutting up branches.
You couldn't find
They go
chainsaw.
over to their neighbors and cut up their branches.
Chainsaw oil could not be found for like 3-4 days.
You give a man a chance to use a chainsaw, and I even have
You
a
tried.
small chainsaw.
Yeah.
I even have a small
I
chainsaw.
was with Joe Maletta, and one guy had the chainsaw, and he was sawing on the bottom side of a branch that
Yeah.
hung out almost over half his yard, and Joe goes, "We need to get out of here. We don't want to see this."
I did think about that.
Just to give you a stat on like how much brush we went through, the first day, we sent a crew out for 6 or 7 hours on Oxford Drive. It took that long to clear that street. And we were back there within 2 days and spent another 5 hours clearing.
No, it was,
One road.
Where's that road?
And at some time, if you guys would like to see it, we had some guys come in here with drones,
oh, yay.
and they flew drones over the areas.
Oh,
And when you
wow.
look at it, you go, what trees fell? There are still so many trees in that area, even after all these fell. It's unbelievable.
It was,
And
I
then-
mean, we could talk on and on about how, I
burn
mean,
the cops especially because
Yeah.
anytime you have this, chaos can happen. And it was more people helping out and pitching in and.
Well,
You kept alluding to a minimum. Oh, my gosh.
hey, just so you know, the second everything stopped, and I'm talking like 3 seconds after it stopped, my son goes, "Dad, there's siren or there's lights out back." Okay, I go out back, and who do I see trying to clear the road with this car blocking traffic because you couldn't drive down Gordon? Was Vern. So we went out there, and 6 guys out of Knob Creek or Knob Hill or whichever company it was, jumped out of their truck and literally pulled a branch as big as this room out of the street. The one we couldn't pull out, they chopped it up, jumped back in their truck and left like a superhero.
yeah, that's
But
amazing.
Vern was the one that was out there all by himself. I mean, literally, the storm was still in Hurstbourne, but Vern was out there already removing branches.
Switchblade knife.
Real quick before he starts, the bike trail is still closed. There's big branches hanging off wires, and Brown Street Service will be going down there as they go through town. So once we get that, we'll open that back up for everybody.
One more
Thank you.
kudos. The communication
Yeah.
was
Oh, yeah.
absolutely amazing.
You gotta give that credit to Kimsey.
Yeah, he was
I
having.
mean, that was,
He was in his element. He'd sit in there at my little table, and we'd give him all the bullets, and then he'd put it all together in
He
the
did great.
story.
My
You
favorite
could
one
definitely
was,
tell when I took over doing it, because we went back to bullets again. And I
my
was
favorite
like,
one was the one that came out and said, we may have missed the weather.
Yeah.
That was my fun. But that communication, I mean, I
It
know
was
in
fantastic.
the past years, that's been something we've preached and we've asked for more. This to me was top level.
Well, other communities didn't have that.
a village president, that it's a part-time job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Showed up here every morning at 7 o'clock and left here at 7 in the evening.
Yeah.
When the rest of us closed down the EOC. Stayed here the whole time, trying to either stay out of the way or take care of stuff or make connections with the state or whatever. He was a great asset in Colesman. So he doesn't like to give praise. He likes to give praise, but you guys should all give him a pat on the back.
Thanks, President
He
Kinsey.
stood up and
I'm sure he's watching.
took care of it. So.
He's
Well, we had
watching.
I've had several residents come out and talk about he was actually handing out water to the linemen, and he was out there doing all sorts of stuff. That's the reason why I said earlier, you may not have seen, but there's probably not a person up here that didn't do something. And everybody in the community did something too. So it wasn't just for us, it was everybody was out there working.
I think the village set the example, though. set the stage for all that.
I think we could just, yeah, one pats on the back. Go ahead, Vern.
Speaking of,
So with that, here in 2 weeks, you're gonna see a bid. We had a bid opening today. It was for 3 squad cars. That was put out about 2 weeks ago. Received the bids today. They were opened up at 11 o'clock today. We received 1 bid package back. It was Victory Lane out of Carlinville. They bid on it. It's for 3 squad cars. So what you'll see in front of you in 2 weeks is for the purchase of 3 squad cars will be an amount of $127,056. That's for the purchase of 3 squad cars from Victory Lane. So that's something you'll see in front of you in 2 weeks.
Fully outfitted? So then they'll have
There
to,
will be Dodge Rams. No, that will be the basic police squad car. All the outfitting and everything else will be done at a later time.
It's in the budget, right?
Trucks?
It's in the budget.
Trucks or cars?
The
All
trucks.
SUVs, Dodge SUVs.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
The reason why we went with the Dodge SUV is because, once again, we're still going back to the old COVID thing. The fact is we cannot get vehicles. We're, with the Fords, you're a year and a half to 2 years out. It's hard to do a budget when they're that far out. So the Dodges have been right there, and we've worked with Dan in the past. He's done a great job.
Durangos like we've got?
Yes, sir.
Those are nice.
So you'll see that in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Vern.
thanks.
And the electric car is in, it's got license plates on it.
Yay.
We've been driving it around. It is the sportiest thing I've ever seen. I got a Camaro sitting on it. It is unbelievable how quick that thing moves.
You beat me to that. I said, don't you drive a
Not
Camaro?
better than Nice's Hummer.
Try that thing.
Might be, actually. It might be faster because it doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah, I mean,
It can't
Those-
walk like a crab.
It can't do that.
you hit the gas pedal, your head's.
You'll hurt.
Really?
For sure.
We should all take rides.
Well,
Not at one time, because that
Well,
would be
don't- yeah,
wrong.
no.
problem
Be a clown
is
car.
it doesn't come with the charger, so we had to order one.
You got 220, right? A real charger. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
real
I'll look
charger.
it up, but the device.
Yeah,
There's so many
UFC.
different ways to plug it in.
Yeah.
We can't drive it.
They don't send like 3 of them with you, and then you throw 2 of them away.
You would think they would have done that.
So that currently does not run, is that what you're trying to
No,
say?
it runs, but.
You gotta push it.
If we drive it a couple
You
more
pull it
days,
back, you let it
we
go.
have to take it into Shields to get it. Or we're gonna go back and visit Hyundai for.
They have 220 sitting there. Easy.
220, 221.
Clarification.
Whatever it takes.
Exactly. Okay.
Back to you.
That's it.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
The
no,
updates
I
are
had a
done.
feeling that, and we just have a lot of, I've heard nothing but high praise, so we had to kind of get all that out
wasn't-
during this time. And so it is high praise for everybody, even neighbors. Our neighbor came over and helped us chop up basically a tree. We've got a giant tree in our yard, and I've seen this community come together in ways that I
We didn't
will
mention
always
JC's
remember.
tonight for cooking
Oh, the JC's
all the
were
workers.
Oh, the JCs, yeah.
Are they still doing that too? I think they were doing it this week, so they
They did
quit.
it yesterday and today, and then they called and said, we're not gonna do it tomorrow because it's supposed to rain all day. But we'd like to go back to start doing it again Thursday and Friday, so.
It's amazing.
Oh, and the Red Cross, I saw the Red Cross drive through my neighborhood. They were parked out in the,
Very helpful. Salvation Army.
yes.
Was here, and they were the ones that were feeding us the first, 3 or 4 days and stuff like that. It's just, it's Chatham.
It's Chatham.
Oh, yeah. No.
Takes a village.
Yep, we all came together. Other people may have been fighting and, stressed out about it, but each and every one of us came together. And it all starts from the top. So, all righty. So, pats on everybody's backs and out there too. So, and public properties.
Public comments.
Dustin did that.
Oh, did we do that? Okay, so you don't have anything to add?
You nailed it.
Okay. I thought that was like a part of the village manager. And maybe we give Carl or Trustee Try a chance to.
Dustin said I was there. That's all that matters.
He's there, okay, all right. Okay. Any
I missed
public
last
comments then? No, hearing none. The next scheduled meeting is at 6:05, August, is that the 8th? And then, we have no reason for closed session. Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Nice has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Try has made, or seconded the motion. And all in favor?
Aye.
I.
All right, this meeting